Welcome back, my dear students. We have started with the chapter structure of atom. In our last session, we have discussed regarding the Schrodinger wave equation. We have started with a wave mechanical model given by Schrodinger. We have discussed various terminologies in that one. Very first, we discussed regarding the psi, which is represented as a wave function. Wave function, theoretically, it is being explained and we doesn't have any practical significance with that. And the term psi square was introduced by the scientist, which was again referred as a wave function. With the help of psi square, we have gone with the various solutions so that we can find out where exactly electron is placed in an atom around the nucleus was continuously explained with the help of various solutions which are generally referred as quantum numbers. So for till here we have discussed with our last session. Today it's time to discuss regarding the quantum numbers. What exactly the meaning of quantum numbers? How many of them are there? What is the exact thing, that is explanation given by all the quantum numbers we have to understand one by one. So for your general knowledge, that is we supposed to go for the particularly classification of quantum numbers. As I explained, the term quantum numbers are considered to be a solutions which are generally derived from the Schrodinger wave equation. With the quantum numbers, we definitely identify where exactly or what is the exact position of an electron in an atom around the nucleus can be easily checked out. So now we have in total 4 quantum numbers. The very first one, it is said to be principal quantum number. The second one is said to be azimuthal quantum number. And the third is said to be magnetic quantum number. Lastly, we study regarding the spin quantum numbers. So very first, let us begin with, I'll mention here all the 4 types. Very first one, as I told you, that is principal quantum number. Principal quantum number is said to be first quantum number, we can say. Okay. Then I have azimuthal quantum number. Is that UMITHAL, azimuthal quantum number. Third one, I'll be having magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number. Okay. And lastly, I would classify the last one, which is said to be spin quantum number. Spin quantum number. So these are 4 solutions derived from the Schrodinger wave equation, which are referred as quantum numbers, with which we can calculate the position of electron in an atom around the nucleus. So let us begin with very first one, which is said to be principal quantum number. Let us understand regarding this one, that is principal quantum number is generally represented by n. Denotation, we have a notation here that it is represented by n. We have to remember this one. Every time we will not go on writing that principal quantum number and so on. But the thing is, simply it is denoted as with small n. Remember, it is small n. So now, what exactly the work of this principal quantum number we have to understand. I have mentioned one point here that this principal quantum number tells us regarding shell. What type of shell is there? What is the energy of that shell? Okay, and what is the size of that shell? Whether it contains how many electrons? All those things are going to be explained by principal quantum number. I repeat my statement. About the shell, quantum number is going to be explained. That is, what type of shell is present, what is the energy of the shell, or what is the size of that shell is going to be explained. And this shell explanation generally has integer value, that is n, that is principal quantum number always is going to be represented by values 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay, so now see here, if you consider principal quantum number, I said you these will be having particularly integers. Let me write as principal quantum number when you consider n equal to 1. Then if you consider n equal to 2. Then you consider 3 and 4. And these 1, 2, 3 integers which are with respect to principal quantum numbers can also be represented in the form of shells. So see here, we will be writing shell as if n value is 1 for principal quantum number, then it is said to be first shell. It is said to be first shell. And likewise, you can see here that first shell is generally represented as K shell. It will be called as K shell. Likewise, we have second shell here. Second shell is going to be represented with certain notation. I have third and I have fourth shell also. Wherein you can see that in the first shell we may also have certain sub shells. This explanation was not given by the Bose atomic model. Various studies have been done, and later part we came to know that there exist shells as well as sub shells. I will make these explanations still more understanding for you all. Just do concentrate towards me and listen to me very properly. Second shell, as first shell is represented by L, it is going to be represented by L, K, L, then it is represented by M, and it is represented by N. Okay, K, L, M, N. K is the first shell we can consider. In first shell we may also have sub shells. Second is represented as L shell. Okay, third is represented as M shell. Fourth is represented as N shell. So these all are coming under principal quantum number, wherein principal quantum number explains regarding the shells. What is the energy of the shell? What is the size of the shell? All those things explained by principal quantum number. I make you things still clear that we will be having day-to-day life example I will be giving you. Just listen to me carefully. That we will be having one building with us. That is, we are having one building. Okay, we are living in a building with many of the floors. Let me consider we are all living in a building of 4 floors. Okay, this is 4th floor. First floor, second floor, third floor. This is 4th floor. Okay, when this is the condition, here I have first shell here. Okay, I have second, first shell is nothing but ground floor. Then we have first shell. This is said to be first floor. This is second floor. This is third floor, and so on. Okay, in this one, in first floor, we will be having certain rooms are present. Okay, certain rooms are present. In first shell, we have certain rooms are present here. But thing is, all the rooms in the first floor are same in nature. I repeat my words. We have first floor. In first floor, all the rooms which are constructed all are same, in which electrons will be present. In which electrons will be present. Likewise, we have second floor. Okay. When you consider second floor, all the rooms are not same here. Certain rooms are spherical in nature. Certain rooms are different shape, dumbbell shape. Certain rooms are double dumbbell shape, and so on. The change in structure or the change in infrastructure will be taking place at the second floor. Likewise, we will be having third floor, we will be having fourth floor, and so on. But the floors are increasing. We have definitely floors, but the thing is, there is a change in the structure, infrastructure of the rooms in which electrons are going to present. This is the day-to-day life I am giving you. Likewise, we also have here K shell, which is said to be ground floor we can consider, in which electrons are present. But the thing is, K shell definitely comprises S orbital. S orbital is the only which is having spherical, and it is present very near to the nucleus. Okay, in which electrons will be present. And if you move next, L shell. L shell definitely comprises of p orbitals. We all know p orbitals generally will be having the dumbbell shape, in which electrons are going to be occurred or they are going to be present there. And likewise here, third floor, if you consider the change in structure, I mean to say change in shape of the orbital occurs. That is the main reason why all the floors will be there in an atom. I mean to say all the orbitals are there in an atom. But the thing is, in the shells, there are sub shells will also be present. In the shell, there are sub shells will also be present. And detailed study of the shape and that particularly what type of orbitals are present in so on, all those things are going to be explained further with the different quantum numbers we have to study. Okay, just you remember regarding principal quantum number that we will be having integer values for n as 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, and they are respectively set first, second, third and fourth. They are denoted by k, l, m and n. So these all are representation of n values, that is principal quantum number. Based on this one, if k is, if you are considering it is said to be very nearest to the nucleus. ಯಾವುದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ನಿಯರ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ, that will be considered as s orbital. It is definitely in a spherical shape. Okay, and s orbital detection or very first shell detection was also be done by Bose. He was telling that electron will be revolving around the nucleus in a fixed path called as orbit. Similarly, that orbit further studied has been called as orbital, wherein probability of finding the electron will be maximum. Okay, in that concern, if you go, this first shell or the s orbital what we are studying here was definitely given by Bose, and later part different studies have been come across and we are studying today. And we have to remember that this is all about the thing that we have understanding regarding the principal quantum number. And when you go for L shell, definitely orbital shape changes. When you move further to the M, definitely orbital shape changes. They will be turning into dumbbell shape, p orbital, double dumbbell shape, d orbital, complex flower like structure, f orbital. All those things we will be studying. Don't worry about that one. Principal quantum number definitely tells regarding the size and energy of the orbital, whereas integers n value we can consider 1, 2, 3, and k, l, m, n are the further shells we can understand with this one. Please copy this one. We'll move to next. Welcome back, students. I must have to mention one more point regarding the principal quantum number, that it also tells us regarding the maximum number of electrons accommodating in particularly shells. So principal quantum number tells us how many maximum number of electrons can be accommodated in a particular shell, was explained by quantum number, principal quantum number. So now see here, if this maximum accommodation of electron generally given by formula 2n square. You have studied in your 9th standard and the same is repeating here, and the details of that one, the complete detail we will be learning here. Only small part of the quantum number you have studied. Just listen to me here. So principal quantum number also tells about maximum number of electrons can accommodate in a shell with a formula 2n square, with a formula 2n square. Okay, so now see here, let me consider first column. I'll make a column and I'll let you know. This is said to be column for a shell, and here we will be writing principal quantum number, and here let me write maximum number of electrons present in that shell. Okay, so now see here, we all know there are mainly of how many shells are present. We know there are mainly of 4 are present. So let me write them each and everything. I'll be explaining here one by one. Please do concentrate here. So this is said to be first shell, K shell, then I have L shell, then I have M shell, lastly I have N. Okay, so just make a column here, K, L, M, and lastly I have N. Fine. So principal quantum number values, let me write here. So we all know for K it is going to be stand for 1, for L it is 2, M it is 3, and for N it is 4. Now the question arises, how many at the maximum electrons can be filled here? We all know that this formula was given by principal quantum number. Say for example, I am going to use this formula if you have N is 1. Here for the K shell, I'll be considering n value is 1. So that we can calculate at the maximum electrons how many can be filled for K shell. So now see here, if I put n value is 1, definitely I'll be obtaining 2. That means in the K shell at the maximum we can fill 2 electrons. Getting? Likewise you can do for n value is 2 also. How much you will be getting? 2 square, 4 2s are 8. So when you consider n value is 2, at the maximum you will be getting 8 electrons here. You can fill at the maximum 8 electrons at the L. Likewise you can consider 3 also, n equal to 3. Then you will be considering n square of 3, 9 plus 2, 10, that is in total 3 square 9 plus 2 10 electrons can be accommodated in the M shell. Getting or no? So like this we will be doing. So this is all about filling of the electrons. I'm sorry, I had put actually 10 here, but we would get, see here 2n square. If you do 2 into 3 square, you will be considering 2 into 9 you will be taking, then totally 18 electrons should be filled. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Here we have to fill in total 18 electrons when in m value you are considering. At the maximum we can fill 18 electrons. Likewise we can do here 2n square when you can consider n value is 4. If you consider n equal to 4, then you will be having 2 into totally 4 square, that is totally 32 electrons at the maximum you can fill here in n shell. Likewise these are K, L, M, N shells. We will be filling the electrons here. So L, M, N also will be considered with, they are having sub shells also. These are all about the shells we have understood. As number of electrons are increasing here, definitely size of that atom also increases. Size of that orbital also increases, which was definitely given by principal quantum number. Please copy this. We'll move to next. So welcome back dear students. As we have started with a particularly azimuthal quantum number, we have to understand certain points regarding this one. So when you consider azimuthal quantum number, we have to know that it is going to be represented by L notation. Small l is the notation for, or denotation we can do for the azimuthal quantum number. Now see here, this azimuthal quantum number mainly designates the subshell to which electron belongs to. We have seen number of shells present in, particularly in an atom, was given by with the help of principal quantum number. We have seen K, L, M, N are the shells, in which we have to understand regarding the subshells also present. I told you in a building there are actually four floors are there. We don't know how many, what type of rooms are present in all the floors. It may be that in a first floor all the square rooms are present. In a second floor there may be a different infrastructure rooms like triangle, spherical, triangle, square, so on. Different type of rooms will be present in the second floor. Likewise in the third floor again different type of floors may be present. The floors, how many number of floors are there in a particular building? First floor, second floor, third, fourth and so on was given by principal quantum number. What type of rooms are present in particularly first floor? What type of rooms present in second floor? What type of present in third and fourth was mainly given by azimuthal quantum number. The different types of rooms are nothing but subshells present in an orbital. I repeat my words, shells are mainly four types, K, L, M, N, was given by principal quantum number. In particularly four shells or four floors, there are again subshells or different types of rooms are present. We have to understand all those subshells with the help of azimuthal quantum number. Okay, so it designates subshells to which electron belongs to. Subshells in the sense in which type of room exactly electrons are present. I give you one more example of my hostel itself. When I was in KUD, I used to stay in a hostel. There are mainly three floors are there. So in 3 floors, I could tell you that in the very ground floor, I used to be particularly in one room. In every semester wise, this change of floors used to take place therein, and the same will be happening with other students also. When I be there in the first floor, I was staying in a particular room number 4 and so on. Room number 4 or room number 5 was mainly given by principal quantum number in which electron is present. That in which room electron is present was given. Address of particular electron was given by principal quantum number. Now when you consider particularly azimuthal quantum number, first floor, second floor, third floor, in that which type of room? In the second floor, where I was used to be there, when I was in MSc, like that. So I was there in MSc third semester in around 16, room number 16 I was there. That is 16, what I am mentioning here is nothing but sub shell. I repeat my word, in second floor 16 room is nothing but sub shell. First floor, second floor, third floor, so on are shells, in which room number 4, 5, 6, 7 so on are present, are nothing but sub shells, in which I used to be there. That is electron used to be there, was given by particularly azimuthal quantum number. Okay, so it tells about shape of a orbital also. Definitely I used to be there in a room number 16, but I must have to tell you that what type of room it was. Whether it is a spherical room or it is triangle room or it is square type of room, or what type of it is, that also I have to tell you, isn't it? And I have to also tell you that whether it is double bedded or single bedded, triple bedded, all those things we will be explaining. No, that is nothing but explanation regarding the orbital. Shape of the orbital was also given by azimuthal quantum number. So moving to still detailed things, that when a given value for the principal quantum number is n, we have to mention that also. When you consider principal quantum number value as 1, we have to check out what are the subshells are going to be present in K. K is the shell. What are the subshells will be present in K? We have to understand. For that I have written this statement. What is that statement? For a given principal quantum number, if you consider n value is 1, then we have to take L, azimuthal quantum number. L value will be n minus 1. This is the empirical one. We have to remember like this only. When n equal to 1, we have to consider L is n minus 1. We have to consider L equal to n minus 1. So just let us go on substituting the value. I said n is 1. If you consider n equal to 1, then n minus 1, L is n minus 1, it will become 1 minus 1, definitely 0. 0 in the sense there will be only one subshell present in K shell. I repeat my word, principal quantum number n equal to 1 stands for K shell. In K shell there will be only one subshell, which is called as S1s, which is, we can refer it as 1s. Okay, likewise you can see here n equal to 2. When n equal to 2, we have to mention n minus 1. n minus 1, 2 minus 1 it will be. Then we will be having two subshells. Two values you will be getting for L, 0 and 1. 0 nothing but 1s. Likewise, we will be having one more shell, that is 2s. 1s, 2s, there will be two subshells are going to present. Okay. So now see here, you can, when you consider 0, 1, it will be 1s as well as 2s. Now you can see here n equal to 3. When n value you are writing is 3, that is principal quantum number. 3 minus 1, that is n minus 1 we have to consider for calculation of L value. 3 minus 2, then you will be getting 0, 1, 2. That is, in total 3 subshells will be present when you consider n equal to 3. n equal to 3 is M shell. In M shell there are 3 subshells will be present. So what are those 3 subshells? They are definitely 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p and 3d and so on. Okay, I think you are getting now. Likewise, we have to calculate for quantum number n equal to 4. So when you go on writing these shells, we have to find out, when you consider value for n, that is principal quantum number, it is going to give us respective orbitals, that is sub shells are present in that particular orbital or in particular shell. So these all are information given by particularly azimuthal quantum number. We have a two columns, we have a two charts, I can say, in which we will see what will be the shape for s orbital, what will be the shape for d orbital, what will be the shape for p and f, so on. I will be writing that chart. Before to that, please complete this. We'll move to next. So let us understand regarding the shapes of particularly subshells. Do concentrate towards me, dear students. So when you consider value of L, azimuthal quantum number represented by L, we are considering L azimuthal quantum number values here. So 0, 1, 2, 3 we will be considering. But for the principal, definitely we are going to consider integers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. But here we will be considering from 0, 1, 2, 3. You have to remember this one. When value for L is 0, 1, 2, if at all you are considering 0, if at all value is 0, then definitely we are going to obtain s orbital. Previously I explained you. Now when you consider s orbital, it is having spherical shape. Definitely we have understood or we have been learning this one since we have started with the chapter. So spherical shape definitely is for s orbital. So now we have p orbital. When L value is becoming 1, we will be having p orbital. So when you consider p orbital, it is definitely dumbbell shape. I must write here, it is like this, dumbbell shape. There are px, py, pz are also present, but the thing is we are checking out shape of the orbital, it is dumbbell shape. Likewise, when you consider particularly d orbital will be obtained for the value 2. When you consider 2, then we are going to obtain d orbital. D orbital is always double dumbbell shape, like this, double dumbbell shape. So I must mention here one of the exception for dz square. As I told you, px, py, pz are present along the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Similarly, we also have d orbitals which are present x, y and z. So now we have to mention here regarding the dz square, which is an exception. It will be having some of different structure like this. That is an exception for dz square. Likewise, when you consider f orbital generally comes with a value of L is 3. It is somehow complex in nature, that is f orbital generally found like this, complex flower-like structure. There are 7 orbitals will be present in this complex structure. So just you have to remember the complex structure is for f. So how we are going to represent all these? We are going to represent these with a S, P, D and F. S is spherical in shape, P is double dumbbell shape, okay? Dumbbell shape like this, and we have D orbital which is double dumbbell shape, and lastly I have F orbital which is said to be complex in nature. So why does SPDF itself is being represented? Why not ABCD? You can ask. So now whenever the experimental part has been done, S stands for, it is mainly for SPDF only they have taken, is because S is particularly for spherical, P is for principal lines, D is for diffuse lines, and we have lastly F for fundamental lines. S for sharp lines. Sharp lines have been observed, so it is represented or denoted as S. And P is represented, principal lines have been obtained, and D is diffused, F for fundamental lines. On the basis of lines observed in the experiment, they have given such notations. And likewise, if you consider N value, when N value and L value, they are going to be differed, and respectively we will be having representation of sub shells. So n value we all know they are going to be started with particularly integers itself, whereas L we will be considering from 0 to 1 and 2 and so on. So for example, if you consider n value is 1, definitely we are going to end up with a value L is 0. That means we will be having particularly 1 s orbital in particularly value with 1. Likewise, if you consider 2, we will be having 2 subshells. 2 subshells are going to present. I am sorry, it is 0 and 1. So when you consider 2, 0 and 1 will be the value for L. Then we will be having 2s and 2p orbital subshells will be present. And see here, when you consider n equal to 3, we will be having 0, 1, 2. Okay, then I could write that 3s, 3p, 3d are present. And lastly, when n value is 4, we will be having totally 4 orbitals 0, 1, 2 and 3. So that is 4s, 4p, 4d, 4s, 4p, 4d, definitely we obtain with f subshell also. 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f are present. So n value, L value and representation of shells. So with this brief idea, we come to know what exactly the subshells, what are orbitals, what are shells are called, orbitals, shells one or the other. Therein we can say there will be a presence of subshells also. So this is the detailed information regarding the azimuthal quantum number. Based on that explanation, we have seen all these things. Please copy this, we'll move to next. So now let us move to the next quantum number, which is called as magnetic quantum number. When you consider magnetic quantum number, we must know that it is going to be represented by small m. I have written here it is represented by small m. Then very first, if you consider why does name magnetic quantum number. See, whenever an atom is going to be influenced with a magnetic field, there will be a certain change in the direction of the electron, that it is going to orient in different directions. That study is mainly, that is that explanation is mainly done or given by magnetic quantum number. I repeat my words, under the influence of magnetic field, the direction of electron in an orbital of an atom is going to be varied to the different orientation. That study was given by particularly magnetic field quantum number. See here, first point, let us understand, it tells us about preferred orientation of orbitals in a subshell. So secondly, we can understand behavior of an electron in presence of magnetic field. How does it behave? Where does it orients? And all those things are going to be explained by magnetic quantum number. I have third point here for a given subshell value. When you consider L, azimuthal quantum number, that is L, if you are going to consider this one, we supposed to consider the final value, that is 2L plus 1 is going to be given for M. These all formulas are small things, that is 2n square we have studied for the principal quantum number, all those are given, they are empirical in nature. We just need to have to follow them as it is, as they have been given to us. There is no derivation required for them. There is no any extra knowledge we have to put for them. Just we have to mug up them and we have to use them. So for L, there are 2L plus 1. Then this 2L plus 1, which is we are going to obtain the values here, are definitely for magnetic quantum numbers. Now see, when you consider L equal to 1, then you will be applying that one in 2L plus 1, okay. So when you apply in 2L plus 1, you will be having 2 into 1 plus 1, definitely totally you will be getting 3 orbitals in subshell are going to present. So now see here, what are those we have to understand. We will be having magnetic quantum number, it is going to be represented -1 as well as +1, in between we will be having 0. In total 3 orbitals are going to occur. Likewise, if you consider L equal to 2, so when you consider L equal to 2 value, definitely you are going to obtain 5 orbitals, that is orientation is going to be varied. How does these 5 are represented? As -2, -1, okay, 0, +1 and +2. Like this we will be representing. Okay, so these are said to be orbitals present in that particularly subshell. Likewise, we can go for the values here. See, for values 1, if you consider 2, 3 and 4, we know that subshells are represented as S, P, D and F. All the small letters we have to make use, and we have also G, fifth orbital, we can represent it as G here. Okay, so now number of orbitals are going to occur here, that we have to understand. So for value n, we have S orbital. I told you for S orbital there are only 2 subshells are going to obtain. Likewise, we have P, we have D and we have F and we also have G. For S orbital, I told you only one subshell or one orbital is going to obtain. So we could write here number of orbitals for S only 1, for P 3 orbitals are possible, for D 5 orbitals are possible, for F 7 are possible, for G totally 9 orbitals are possible. So 3 in the sense at the maximum 6 electrons can be accommodated, 5 in the sense at the maximum 5 orbitals are present. See here, these are orbitals. This is said to be D orbital. I told you there are mainly of 5 orbitals are possible. 5 orbitals, each orbital have a capacity of holding 2 electrons. 5 into 2, totally 10 electrons can be accommodated in D subshell. Likewise for P in the sense 3 are there. 3 orbitals are present. In 3, each will be carrying 2 electrons. 3 into 2, 6 electrons at the maximum can be accommodated for P. Likewise 7, that is for F orbital, totally 7 2s are 14 electrons can be accommodated. Likewise, we have this list which is generally explained with the help of magnetic quantum number. Okay, so this is all about the information given by magnetic quantum number, that it mainly explains regarding the orientation of orbitals and nature of electrons in applying or in presence of a magnetic field. So please copy this one. We'll move to next. So now let us understand regarding the spin quantum number. I must tell you, spin quantum number is going to be represented by small s. So when you consider spin quantum number, what is the meaning of spinning of electron? This whole spin quantum number is going to be explained, that spinning or spinning of particularly electron. I tell you one by one. So very first statement here, if you consider, electron rotates on its own axis. Okay, either by clockwise or by anti-clockwise. It will be either rotating like clockwise, it will be rotating, or it will be rotating anti-clockwise. Electron will be rotating around the orbital like clockwise or anti-clockwise. This is nothing but axis. Their own axis they will be rotating, electrons. Now see here, for particularly spin quantum number, generally we will be obtained with 2 values. If at all it is rotating in a clockwise, we will be having value +2. If at all it is rotating in an anti-clockwise, it will be having value -2. So see here, as electrons are negatively charged, all the electrons cannot rotate in a particularly clockwise itself, or all electrons cannot rotate anti-clockwise also. In order to nullify the repulsion between 2 electrons, one has to move to the clockwise and the other electron has to move to anti-clockwise. That was explained by very fantastic work has been done with a scientist, and they have concluded that the electrons will be rotating in their own axis, clockwise and anti-clockwise. The thing is, they have given values also. One is +2 and the other is -2. I have denoted here. This is said to be anti-clockwise movement of electron. Anti-clockwise -2 is representation. Likewise, I have clockwise rotation of clockwise movement of electrons, that is represented as +2. So whenever you consider +2 value, how to denote this one? We have written here. In all the cases, we cannot go on writing the +2, -half and all. So they have made it short, that how to denote these +half and -half spinning of particular electrons. They have denoted with a upward arrow and downward arrow. If you consider an orbital here, there must be writing the electron in fixed manner. That denotation is known as one electron will be rotating to the clockwise and the other electron will be rotating anti-clockwise. Only two orbitals with the opposite spin, two electrons with the opposite spin can be present in orbital. Two electrons with their opposite spin can be present in orbital, but not same. See here. Yes, it is acceptable. If you are writing like you have p orbital, if you are writing in this fashion, it is not going to be accepted. It is not going to be accepted because spinning of electron is clockwise and anti-clockwise. If you write both the clockwise or both the anti-clockwise, higher the repulsion, no existence is going to take place. We have to represent axis, that is rotation of electrons, particularly in one is upward arrow and the other one is downward arrow. This is the only accepted denotation of representing the electrons. So this is all about spin quantum number. With this we are concluding quantum numbers. Please copy this one. We'll move to next part.